So, what role, like in actual life, what role did your church have played in this case?
The church that's in the movie is my second church. My first church, they actually shunned me and my kids out. They were more embarrassed about everything that was going on, and it wasn't the preacher, it was the people in the church who were like, you always, church, I went to my church for comfort, to find comfort, and I couldn't get it in my church. It was always talking down, meddling, you know, not wanting to help, hurt you in anything. So I left that church and ended up going to this church, and they embraced us in tremendously. And this church opened the doors and let us do town hall meetings and bring down different organizations to come and help us and get our community together and all that. This church is all for whatever. You know, no other church in the town will stand up and say anything about what was going on. So I love that church. Amen.
Was there a real life Gladys? I was wondering about that character.
Yes, her name is Irma Faye Stewart. If you go on our website, I have a PBS special that I did with her. She's on there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yes. She, initially, we were in it together, she really didn't understand. She was a drug user, not a drug seller. And she didn't understand what was going on. And whatever I learned, I told her, I was like, whatever happens, I'm going to teach you, and we're going to stand here together. And so she was going through withdrawal. We went through withdrawal. It was hard. I had never in my life seen anything like that before. But we made it through. They offered both of us 10 years, and we wouldn't take the 10 years. I was like, no, I'm not taking it. I didn't do anything. Why would I take something like that? So they offered her 10 years. She was like, no. But she wanted to go home, you know. And she didn't have a support system like I had. I was her only support system. So then they come back and they offered me 5. And I was like, no, I'm not. You know, I didn't do anything. So they offered her 5. She was like, no, I'm not going to take it. She didn't take it because I didn't take it. But after my mom got all the signatures that she needed to take before the judge to get my bail reduced from $7,000 to $10,000, and she put the deeds to the house up to get me out. When she heard me on the phone, Irma heard me on the phone saying that I was going home that day, she broke down. She didn't take it because I was leaving her. I was her only support system. So when I left, I actually left before she left. She contacted the DA and said she was ready to take the plea. So instead of them giving her the 5 years that they dropped it down to, they took it back up to the 10. And she signed her 10 years probation. As soon as she signed, she came home to nothing. She was out of her apartment, out of everything. She didn't have anything. And she was sleeping in the park on slides and swings and everything. She didn't have anything. Nothing. But she's doing good now. She's working. She has somewhere to stay. Her daughter graduated high school. She has a son. He's doing good in school. She's doing real good now. She is.
You said that you had to move around because of what was going on with you trying to work and with your kids trying to go get work. Like, what's it like for your kids growing up? You know, with all this stuff happening when they were so little, like, has it like really affected them, or is it? Like, I don't know. I'm just curious as to like going through something on that scale. Like, must be such a big thing.
My oldest daughter was the only one that it just really affected. The other ones, they were too young to just realize what was going on.
Right.
But my oldest daughter, she was actually in the park playing when the raid happened. And it terrified my baby. She saw them come in with the mask and the machine guns and throwing people down and kids, and she just, and I wasn't there.
Terrifying.
I'm in a different town, you know, at work, not knowing what's going on. And I didn't even come home that day because they ended up arresting me, you know. And so that made it even worse because Mama wasn't there. And she turned on me. She wouldn't come see me in jail. She wouldn't talk to me on the phone. She didn't want to have anything to do with me. She was so upset with me because I was not there. But when I came home, we worked through it, and she still deals with it today, and she's 17. She was 9 then, she's 17 right now. She's not one of those kids where she likes to be in a crowd of people. She doesn't like to go to the parties and hang with all the kids. That's not her. She likes to stay right next to me. You know, I'm like, okay, you're a senior in high school. It's good she might be underneath me, but you need a light. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how she is. So, you know, she's still dealing with it.
Did you ever visit the set when they were making the film and get to watch it?
Yeah, I came in on the deposition scenes when they were filming the depositions. And soon as I walked in the room, I knew exactly who everybody was at the table. Even though they were actresses, you know, I knew everybody. I just knew it. And I couldn't even sit through it because it was just so nerve-wracking. Just, I kept leaving the room, They kept stopping and saying, I'm sorry, are you okay? I'm fine, just keep doing what you're doing, just, you know.
Like deja vu? Or
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. But the girl who plays Nicole Beharie, she's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean amazing. She did such a good job in portraying me. She studied me for like 3 months. She told me the videotapes, the tape recording, she would stick in her car, listen to me, how I talk, and at home in her stereo, it was constantly playing. She had it in her iPod, just constantly listening to me, constantly. She just knew me from word to word, just my depositions. She knew it frontwards and backwards. She's very nice. She's amazing. And the cast, I do want to say, the cast took a huge pay cut in wanting to do this movie. And so I'm so grateful for that because, you know, there's a lot of main people in here who get paid a lot of money for doing films. And they took a huge pay cut to do that, and that's a blessing to even want to do something like that.
You said that Hollywood wouldn't want to take it, but previously they did take the film Traffic, which became a such sensation. It's also about war on drugs, so why do you think that it didn't take yours, but it did take Traffic? I'm curious.
I don't know. You know, I don't know. I honestly can't say. I don't know. You know, it started out with Samuel Uncommon Productions. They did the film. And Samuel Goldwyn, which is a larger production company, they picked it up to give it that name power behind it. Hollywood still wouldn't touch it, you know, as far as letting it get out there on a wide release. So I honestly, I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like, and I'm not just saying this because it's my story, but I honestly feel like it's a good quality movie. You know.
How long was it in the theaters for? Because I remember Yi is the one that first told me about this film back in the spring. How was it out for like a week or?
No, it ran. I've never in my life seen a movie run this long in a movie theater. It started. Let me see. We did the screening in her March 24th. It started March 27th in theaters. It ended September 30th.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was for only in theaters for a short period of time.
No, it wasn't everywhere at one time.
Oh.
It would just go from different
That's
towns,
weird.
you know,
Okay.
for a limited time. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so when people would hear about it, they were requested to come to their theaters, and so it just kept going on and going on and going on. But it wasn't in wide release theater. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about it, Yi?
I was reading this blog called Drug Warrant.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a blog written by a guy in Illinois. He was a theater professor, and he writes about drug policy issues all the time.
Well, again, thank you guys for coming, and I appreciate y'all sitting through the Q&A and for the questions that y'all asked. You can get in touch with me on my website, reginakelly.com. I'm about to change it and put some more information up there and redo the whole thing. So I have a lot of stuff that just needs to be updated, but since I've been on tour for so long, I haven't had time to just sit down and just do this. But this is the end of my tour. So I need to go home.